farm and saying, "Oh my gosh, how did you build your farm up so fast like that?" And it's just massive, and I'm not really even done with it, but it's not rocket science. But I figured I'll just start by doing a video and just kind of take you through what I did. So I'll just go to a starting farm that I created that I didn't do anything with, just to kind of give you an idea of. I chose a flat one. It says it's harder, but I disagree. I like the flat because I can put water in if I want to. Eventually, if I can put any terrain in except for hills, basically. So I would rather have the versatility and the land space than having a lot of wasted space personally. So the first thing I will tell you to do, I would advise you to do is, first of all, get your trees together, because that's key. That's one of the first recommendations I tell everybody that wants to know how I did it, is just get all your trees together and keep buying trees as much as possible, because fruit is the key to ribbons, and ribbons is the key to really truly building up. So and before you can do the ribbons, at least it's key for diamonds, which is also key for building up. So until you can get the ribbons machine by completing a couple of quests and stuff, just work on trees. It gives you money at first. It may not seem like much, but in the beginning it is a lot. So that's the first thing I do, is start getting my trees together and sorted. I'm kind of weird when it comes to trees because I sort them according to season. So right now it doesn't really matter as long as you just have them together, because it makes it a lot more time efficient. And because your best asset is your time. So there we go. Get these trees together. I think there's a few on the other side. I will take you over to my main farm in a few minutes here, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of kind of how to start doing this. I will have to say this: get to 17 as soon as possible, so that you can get sunflowers. Once you get sunflowers, then you got it made. Because every night before I go, I leave for the night, or if I'm not leaving my farm logged in for other people to farm, I plant sunflowers. And that is big money capital. And there's over 1K of profit for just a little over 1K investment. So by the I think it's almost 1.5K. I lost track, but I mean that's a lot of money. In the beginning, you have no track. You have a tractor, but you have no fuel, as you just saw there. So they give you a few plants. But another reason why I like the flat, if I didn't mention it already, like the flat farm is, they say that it hinders your XP a bit, but it's so much faster and easier to farm with a flat surface, you can cram more in a smaller space, and it's just more convenient. It's quicker, and that kind of thing. So, boy, do I miss my tractor. If you are playing, always plant for the plants according to the time that you're going to be here. Because especially in the beginning, you won't have anybody stopping in on your farm. You'd be very lucky. Because people always look at the stats for the farm, as in how much money you have, how much diamonds and ribbons, and it's kind of funny because it's really hard to find a good farm to go and farm and get your double XP bar. And what I mean by that is, if you don't know, is up in the upper left hand corner, you don't see it now, where the fuel is, near where my level is. It says 64. Then underneath there is a fuel, and then there is, when you're on another farm, there's another circle thing that is basically a bar or a circle that you fill up as you help other people. And when you go back to your farm, that gives you the double harvest. So when you're like, for example, harvesting trees, it gives you double the fruit harvest, or whatever kind of tree it is. And the same with the crops. So especially in the beginning to mid-late game, don't harvest anything without getting XP bar, because it's double the return on your investment. So it's huge. And we got a quest. So planting peanuts, just go with the quests. Just totally concentrate on quests until you get 2 ribbons. And the first thing you want to do, and you get the 2 ribbons, is get a fuel pump. I think it's called fuel pump. Let me go over here and see. It's been so long. Here's what it is. It's question mark. But anyway, it's basically a fuel pump. And then there's a bigger one that's 25 ribbons that recuperates. It holds more and it recuperates 3 times faster, I think is what they said. I can't remember exact stats, but as soon as possible, get 3 fuel pumps. So you can also look at your quest log here and make this stick. So you can hit the square button to pin it, so that now you can see it on the right hand side of the screen. But so we're needing carrots too, but you can't plant them in this season. Summer is the only season you can't plant it, so we'll have to wait for another season, which I may not do for this because I'll probably go to the other farm. But peanuts are 30 minutes. But another thing that you want to keep in mind too is don't think that a plant isn't important because, or takes too long or whatever, because whoops, keep going into that menu. Is if you'll notice here, there are other plants that you have not unlocked yet, and unfortunately, because I haven't leveled up any of these requirements, they're showing in question marks. But it will tell you what level of the plants need to be in order to unlock this new plant. So they give you 3 to start with. So no matter what, you want to plant them. Now peanuts are 30 minutes and carrots are 20 minutes. So I'm just gonna go through here and plant a few peanuts, and then in the beginning it's just kind of it's actually kind of fun doing everything manually too, but it's refreshing for me because I've always got a tractor going. But And another piece of advice is always do things in 3x3 squares. Because if you don't, it's going to be awkward for a tractor. And you're going to have to waste more time. So 3x3 here. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then there's 1. So I always kind of mark out my 3x3s. So if I want to go further, 2, 3, and so. So now when I take a tractor in, you go to the center one of the 3x3 square, use your tractor, 1, 2, 3, and then you use it again, 1, 2, 3, etc., etc. So here would be the next one. Oh, there's an extra one there. So this would be the next one, you know, and so on. So 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I can't plant carrots yet. So I'll just make these plots. Now, before I go into my main farm, the first thing I'm going to do is go to somebody else's farm. Hopefully I can find one that is farmable. It's so hard to find anything that's farm efficient for Harvest XP bar or Harvest bonus bar or whatever you call it, that it's kind of frustrating sometimes. But there's still, even in later game, there's still, every day I go and get bar for doing 2 things. And that is bees, because they only can be harvested once every 24 hours. So I want to get as much out of those bees as possible, because bees are a direct proportion. 10 honey or whatever is 1 ribbon. So it's real easy to get ribbons from it, and each beehive only costs 10 diamonds. So even a newbie can start doing bees right away. You know, just do them all. My only recommendation is do them all at the same time, so that you know, you don't pick and choose here and there and have to get bar like 5 times a day or whatever. One moment, please. Got somebody at the door. Okay, I'm back. Whee! Delivery. I get a imperfect produce every 2 weeks. So yeah, now I've run out of money, which is not a problem. So just run the crap out of your money until you can't do it anymore. And then wait for the harvest. And each season get your trees. As soon as I harvest these peanuts, the thing I would do is replant until I can get this area full of whatever I need. And then whatever money I have left over, I buy apple trees. And the reason why I buy apple trees is in the beginning, if you'll notice, apple trees, 3rd line down, is harvest. You can harvest them every season. So even though it's not that much money. It's only 6 gold per. But in the beginning, that's huge. So, The lemon trees are nice in addition, but you can only harvest them one season, and it's summer. So, you know, I don't get rid of these because, hey, one season's better than no season, but you can't even buy them yet. So you have to get your apple trees to level... See, here's the example I was talking about. You have to get your apple tree to level 4. Right now, it's level 2. So, yeah. To unlock the lemons, I think. I think that was a lemon. So many of them look the same as far as their silhouette. But anyway, you got the idea of how to start with the noob thing. So I'm going to go and get some bar, hopefully. If I have too much trouble, you can actually do these filters. Also, you can filter favorites. This part can be kind of a pain in the butt. Sometimes when you have friends on, they won't even show up. You have to try several times before they'll even show up. And the join game option doesn't always show for some reason with this game in the PS4. So I'm gonna refresh, try one more time. So you can when you go to somebody's farm, you can actually favorite their farm to make it easier to go back and find somebody. Could be that none of my favorites are on. So even if they're friends, I still favorite their farms so that it's easier to find them. So I'm just going to go back to all, since I don't have anybody that seems to be on right now. They need to do some work on this part of it. I started playing this game when it first came out on the PC. But my hands are so bad now that I just prefer playing on a console. It's so much easier on my hands. So I've had quite a bit of time to actually get to know the game between the PC and then going to the PS4. So I've learned... one thing that I do suggest is just learn on one farm and don't get too attached to it. And then, you know, make another one. It's no big thing. So, let's see here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we get lucky and get a decent farm with stuff to do. What I typically do too, and I'll show you when we get ready to go in, I always make, as soon as you start playing, make 2 farms and leave one alone. Don't ever log into it because there's an achievement. Let's see if they have anything to do. They do not, almost. So, let's see, do they have a gas station? See, that's the funny thing. You need to put a gas station, actually several, right at the drop point. You see, this guy has no gas station here at the drop point at all. And there's one over there. But it's not even enough to warrant farming. So I'm going to exit this. And try it one more time. And then if I don't find a good one this time, I'll just go back to my farm and not do the bees yet. But I always get the bar for the bees and the trees. That's easy to remember. Bees and the trees. Because even in late game, the trees are key to getting a lot of ribbons too, because you convert the fruit to jam, and then you convert the jam to ribbons. Same way with milk. You convert the milk to cheese, and then cheese to ribbons. Let's try this guy. He's not in the millions yet, but that doesn't mean anything. Somebody could have gotten just got on, and see, this guy he doesn't have too much. This is kind of an odd farm. Yeah, he doesn't have anything. He's actually a new person, there's nothing wrong with that Absolutely nothing wrong with that. If there's something I can do, I'm more than tickled to. See, what I do is I set my permissions for my farm to be able have everybody be able to plant. Oh, and this guy does. So even though this planting doesn't give me bar, because you notice there's no bar, but I took his gas, so I want to go ahead and help him, and he'll be able to harvest these in 10 minutes. So I took his gas, I mean. So I try and be respectful. You know, I got his gas, so I want to try and help him. And he needs potatoes, but I don't think they were in season. Oh, yeah, they are. So we'll do both. So the 10-minute thing will give him something to harvest to get money in 10 minutes. And then the potatoes take 3 hours. And if you run out in the middle, be courteous and finish filling in the holes by hand. Because, you know, that's the kind of energy I put out. That's what I want back, you know, kind of thing. There we go. So, I didn't get any, like I said, I didn't get any harvest bar. It didn't even show up. But, you know, karma, baby. So I'll sign his little thing. Had a good time. Alright, so didn't have much luck on getting any bar. This is why I wanted to make a farm that was farmable for everybody, not just me. Because once you get so big, there's only so much you can do anyway. So this is actually my main farm. And now this is the one I made when I first started playing on the PS4, which was 22 days ago. And at day 30, I'll log this one in. This will be my decorative farm. So I planned on doing it like a big flat farm first, and then my decorative farm will be, well, I think I chose judging by the name, it was the rocky one, whatever that was. So we'll see how that goes. But at day 30, I'll log that in for the achievement, and then I'll probably be ready to actually work on that. So I'm going to log into my main one. All right. So I have lots to do on my farm. I have 3 more sections to open up on the farm until it's maxed out. And the first thing I'm going to do is get gas. And I always put these gas stations in pairs because one gas station will not fill me up anymore. Your fuel pool gets really big, I guess, as you level up, and they can't fill it up. I already had fuel on me, so typically what I would do is, if I got bar, I would head over to my bees, which are ready to harvest. So I have 200 bees. And I use my bar to collect the bees, because you only get 1 honey if you don't have bar. So I make the 200 bee hives worth my time by making it 400 honey. And then those little bee stands there, honey stands or whatever, they'll turn it into ribbons, which you use to buy sprinklers, like you see here. It automatically waters everything. And FYI, the flowers, when you water them, don't decrease the time it takes to grow, but it does increase the return value you get from them, as in money. or diamonds, depending on which kind of flower they are. So for my animals, I finally got to the point where, let me show you what I did here. I got a, hired hand kind of thing, and it costs you so many ribbons, and then the next one you get is 2 ribbons higher, and the next one you get is 2 ribbons higher. So now for me to buy one, go down here, it costs me 57 ribbons. And apparently my farmer here is stuck. You know what? I'm going to get rid of this sign. I thought it was really cool at first, and it is, but it gets that guy stuck. That's not the first time he's gotten stuck before on that sign. So I'll just get another donkey. Province donkey. So let's see here. Let's see, where's the donkeys? Is that province? Yes. There we go. Now we have another donkey. So I have them. If you step on these guys, you'll see I don't know if you can see it but you'll see a yellow dotted line. That's their range. So he's off harvesting. So I'll help him out here. Now this one I'm lacking a farmer. I need to get another farmer for this back end here. I did have all this covered, but I decided to rearrange a few things, and I'm still rearranging. That's the fun part of the game for me, is as you grow, rearranging things. So there we go. Oh, also, once you get several farm hands, one of the first things you want to do is, especially if they're spread all over the place. I didn't get one until I had like 6 or 8 farm hands. There's this building here that you can get. You can pay them all at once. Now the payment is tickets. How to get tickets? By the way, you can warp. You get tickets from these houses. There's 4 houses you can build. Now, this one's not done, or is it? Yeah, they're all done. That's why there's not any symbols. So you can put down this easel. Hang on, I gotta pick one. You can decorate your house any way you want, but in the first tab in the house menu, these are things that you can use to make tickets. So we have ovens or stoves, and that costs you, but at first it's not so bad. It's like this one, it's only 200 coins and you get 1 ribbon from it. Hey, it's better than nothing, right? And it doesn't take too long. It takes 8 minutes in each stage. So if you're going to be around the house, that's cool. You can do it. But the best return on investment for me in time and resources and stuff, without sacrificing ribbons, is the sushi. So once you build up to the sushi, I do that all the time. And once you build up to Jingle Bells, it rocks because you not only get tickets, but you get a ribbon. I am addicted to ribbons because I love ribbons. You can get sprinklers and farm hands and special plants and things like that. So I go to each one. I haven't decorated the whole houses of each one, but I always have that first room full of the ticket generators so that people like to come in and actually help with this. Just something different to do. tree house and then the log cabin. And they each have stages, so you're not going to get them right away. And the last one. There we go. Now this particular house was really expensive. Each stage you had to have 25 ribbons to build this. You can't just build a house. You have to do it in stages. So yeah. Now the orange, if you don't already know, is stuff that's needed for quests. So also on the map, if you see areas that have little dots or X's, you know, like on these crops, that means they're ready to harvest. But typically, oops, got froggy there. Typically I don't harvest anything unless I get all done with all my other stuff, so that other people can have something to harvest when they come. I don't know what it is. People love to harvest, and every once in a while you'll find somebody that likes to plant and just stick around and have fun. And I love those kind of guys, because then you kind of get to know them. It's nice to see a familiar face and all that kind of jazz. But there's something I want to show you. There's efficiency of using your farm hands. Let's see what my fish count is. Yeah, we need to get rid of some fish. Sushi uses a lot of fish, so I don't want to get rid of all my fish totally. But, oh, I need to get rid of the milk that's capped. Oh, yeah. And it's over here. I need to put this in a better place. I'm still rearranging as I grow and stuff, so I haven't got it done. Now, typically, like I said, if I got my XP bar, or not XP, I keep wanting to say XP bar, it's double harvest bar. I would go straight in my farm, do not collect $200, and go straight to the bees, get those done, and then start harvesting trees. Because this is what turns the fruit to jam. And might as well gas up while I'm here. And this is what turns the jam into ribbons. Takes 50 fruit to make 10 jam. One jam, and it takes 10 jam to make one ribbon. So you do the math. So that's why I do double harvest on the trees. Now on the map here, I'll show you all these trees starting from where I'm at on the map to the right, all the way to the right. I planted everything, and you can see gaps in there. I'm still rearranging, but I planted everything from spring. Once I got all my trees opened up, I think I have all my trees opened up. Oops. Yeah, I have all my trees opened up. So once I had all my trees opened up, or right before it, actually a couple of ones before it, what I did was I went through and I started moving all my trees, and where the row that I'm at now, I just started every tree that had spring in it as a harvestable season. I put those trees down those rows, and then I went to summer, then fall, then winter. So it makes it a lot easier overall on harvesting your trees by season. Some trees have, you know, all seasons, and some trees, you know, just have 2 or 1 or whatever. So you can't always regulate everything as far as being always consistent, not with trees, but it does make it a lot easier, because when spring comes, you don't have to be jumping groves just to get all your trees done and running all over the place. I'm kind of all about efficiency, I guess. But there is one thing I did that I want to share, is the efficiency of your farmers. And oh, still plenty. So this is kind of how I have my farmers set up. Now, over on the other side, there was no gap except here. There's no gap here. But since I knew I wasn't going to be filling this whole side up, I kind of wanted to make it a little more presentable, maybe? I don't know. So, I just haven't done this one yet. Now these flowers here give me back diamonds, so I wanted to grab them as soon as I could. So anyway, I have all of them with farm hands here, and you know, it costs a lot to feed animals, but once you get you know, it kind of hurts maybe to start feeding animals, but when you harvest it, you get your money back plus return, just like you do crops. So, you know, don't be afraid to feed animals and then harvest them. The one thing I do suggest is, in the beginning, is you know, tell on the messages on your farm when people log in, and you give them instructions. Just say, you know, don't harvest the animals, because then you can go and get your double harvest bar and use it to get double the, you know, milk, or double the wool or whatever, and that helps you with getting started. So be really efficient with your farmers and make every ounce of space in their territory usable. Now, what makes it kind of cool is this is what I did with my fish. So here's my fish guy, and now call me crazy and whatever, but I arrange my fish according to time. So like the fish in this area here that run all the way around up to where this guy comes and touches his area. I missed the turn. Woo! Okay, so this is within his area. So each one of these pools all the way back there end up in his area, so that he will farm them. So I have 7 or 8 different big, large fishing areas coming in here, plus ducks all in his area. You can tell where his area cuts off because the ducks cut off here. So he's not only farming fish. Ooh, there's 2 whole spaces I could use here. Maybe another fishing pool or something. I don't know. But yeah, kind of you can kind of tell where his space begins and ends. But I have all my ducks here, and all my chickens are in another area. But anyway, that's kind of what I did. So this poor guy is busy all the time. he hardly ever stops because either some fish or another is coming due, or ducks are eating. But anyway, what I do is up to an hour is in this pool. So if it takes 30 minutes, it's in this pool somewhere. But up to an hour. And then this one is over an hour, up to an hour and a half, or hour and 45 minutes. And then this one is 2, I don't remember. Anyway, you got the idea. And there's some fish you can't put with others, so they're kind of separated too. And then this one over here is over 2 hours. Some of these are 3 hours. Some of these guys are 3 hours long. But they all converged where this guy up here is. So he's doing all the fishing. Now, what I do like to do is if I have double XP bar and I know I'm going to have plenty of time, I'll come in and harvest as many fish as I possibly can for the farmer gets it. So I can get double fish. Because fish are awesome for diamonds. And diamonds are important for not only expanding your territory, but a lot of buildings and decorations. So I have not begun really, I've decorated some, but I have not really begun to decorate because I really wanted to concentrate on getting my farm really efficient and helpful for other people. That was my passion for playing on the PS4, is to actually make a farm that's more for others than myself, and I've totally enjoyed it. I have enough for another gas station now. And I know I need one. Where was it I needed it? Oops. By the way, anywhere where you can see purple, like up at number 7, you can hardly see it. It's right at the edge. That's purple. That's a gas station. Where 1 is, you see that purple square? That's 2 gas stations. At the bus stop there where you port in, there's 2 gas stations there. I have a tiny one, a fuel pump basically, down south of that. And then there's 3 fuel pumps at 4. There's 2 gas stations, the big ones, at 3. Where was it? I needed another gas station. I think it was 7. Because it only has 1 there. Yeah, it's 7. Now, I gotta make space for it. But one thing I always do is everywhere there's a warp point, I try and always put gas stations there if there's any crops around or any flowers around. I don't at the animals because you don't need fuel really most of the time. You do, not for me now because the farm hands are doing all the harvesting and stuff. So yeah, I don't have a gas station there, or the honey, because you can't, the bees, you can't you can't harvest with a tractor. It makes you get off. So you kind of have to do that by hand anyway, so I don't have a gas station here. But gas stations and fuel pumps are your lifeline. If you are waiting for gas, then you're not farming and doing stuff you want to do. So, yeah, I think it was 7 that I needed it. It wouldn't hurt to have one down here too, instead of this one little small one. Here's what I'll do. You know what? There's nothing wrong with these pumps. In fact, they're pretty darn handy in remote areas where somebody may need just a little bit of gas to make the plows or harvest all the way back, kind of thing. So I just kind of stuck my original gas pumps. Oop, this is diamond stuff, so. I got these flowers from an event. I always do the events. Oh my gosh, the events actually give you an extra purpose kind of thing. Alright. It was funny. I left my my game on last night, and I got up early this morning for a conference call, a webinar thing, whatever you call it, and there was a fella from Europe, and he was on. Apparently, I think he was like level 30 or something. He got on, and you could hear him because you can actually voice in the game too. So I could actually hear him going, "Oh my gosh, this field is massive. This is awesome." So he just spent 2 hours at my farm, just harvesting and planting to his heart's desire. Because, with his own farm, which I can totally relate, when you first start out, you can't get to plant and do all this stuff at all. You get to see some of these new plants, is basically what I'm trying to say here. So I'll do some planting here, fill this space up. So typically what I do at this level of the game, and they really need to work on this whole finding farms thing, because it's really, there's a lot of people that play, but finding their farms, even if you favorited them, are really difficult at times to get. So they need to really work on it, but it's still not impossible. It's just you just gotta keep trying. It's just kind of annoying, but if you have a friend that plays, sometimes it works. If you hover over after you're in, you hover over, go back, hit your PS button and hover over farm, usually it'll have your friends there, and you can hit join session. But doesn't always work. Sometimes do I have anything I need to unlock? Yes. Okay, I need pumpkins. They're growing. Black peppercorns. So, do I have black peppercorns? Yes, it's the right season. Plant. So, but I really like their events. When I played on the PC, there was one. They had a fishing event. There was special fish that you put in and had to fish up so many fish. And they have different stages of goals to make with each event. And the last one was for St. Patrick's Day, and you had to plant clover and random chances of getting 4-leaf clovers. And you had to get so many of those. But the cool part about that event which was really neat, is if you harvested somebody else's clover and they got the 4-leaf clovers, you also got them. So that was freaking awesome. There we go. But as you can tell, I can always stay busy. I can always harvest trees. So I don't even have to harvest my plants, and I can make money now and ribbons. And since ribbons are really what I'm all about right now, because I actually want to put sprinklers in every single bit of my farm eventually. That's a lot of farm. Right now I've got, let's see, I keep buying farm hands and things like that and gas stations, but 2, 3, 4 complete rows in this massive field done. And what I do is use the sprinkler fields for long-term plants, because it automatically cuts their time in half. So this is the one that I'll actually end up harvesting a lot if nobody's in or whatever, because I keep these going. with long-term plants. So pumpkins take 2 days, and when you put them in a sprinkler plot, it cuts it automatically to 1. Almost to the end. Now what I'm trying to do, because I'm more toward the end game, is for some reason I think they missed the boat on achievements. They missed a lot of opportunity on achievements, because they could have said, oh, you got all your crops to level such and such, or you got all of your recipes opened up for the piano, or something like that. They just didn't do that at all. So I'm not. These are the sunflowers I was talking about earlier, and I still plant a lot of them at night, but I'm not so freaky about it now, because I never run out of money anymore. So, because everything makes a profit, and even though I have to buy higher priced stuff, I'm almost done with it, so I don't worry too much about it. So I want to level up other long-term. So this one's 2 days. It's only level 9. So I'm going to put this purple cauliflower stuff in here, because it's sprinkled. It's sprinkled. My goal actually was to be able to have 10 people come in on my farm at the same time, which that never happens, and be double what they need to fill up their double harvest bar. So I'm pretty close to there, if not already. But there's a lot of, it doesn't look like much, but that's just solid wall of plant crops. And I do have one farmer on the highest, the tree, the tamarind. It can be harvested every season, and it's higher return than the apple. And then there's some that's out of his range. So I didn't go too freaky with the hand. Whoop, there we go. Seasons changed. Winter time is the time that the money trees and can't remember the name, date palms. So I'm headed there first. Money trees give diamonds. Date palms are just decent high money. Not that I need it anymore, but it's, old habits die hard. So just in case I have to leave or something, I always try and get these date palms and the money tree. These I can't remember this tree here. It gives I think it's the highest one I think I have. Highest gold value. Walnut trees. 404 per tree. So gas station's right here. I need to replace those with full gas stations. It's kind of cool to use the view, this view here, when you're doing trees. And I'm a kid at heart, even though I'm getting up there in age, that's for sure. 56 almost. Yay, old lady. It just gives a different view, that's all. Makes it seem more like an adventure. But there you have it. That's kind of how I built up my farm. I have a lot of barns so that I can increase the cap on all of the what you can hold, and you know, that everything. So I'll eventually have them all across there, but I haven't run into, you know, I run into caps, but I'm so good at, you know, uncapping them that it's not that big of a deal. But it's getting to the point now where even the farm hands are capping me if I'm not careful, so I need to put out more. But I hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully it helps get you started on Farm Together. Kind of the quirks and kicks about it all. But well, this is a reward I got. Gold nuggets are really valuable because you can exchange them for any kind of valuable resource. So that was a St. Patrick's event thing. So every time you collect on that, every 30 minutes, you get a gold nugget. Which here is the building for it. And you can trade it in for any resource. For most of the time I trade it in for diamonds. I mean ribbons. Derp. Because I'm still using a lot of ribbons. And I just exchanged, I think, 35 of them last night. So I only have 14 now. But I've made, you know, that many nuggets you get every once in a while. So I had enough to get 14 more. Woo! So, well, I hope you guys create an amazing day. And I will talk to you again soon.